Hello and welcome to this very special and final episode of Inspiration on India Today television. India-Australia automatically merits someone who has been a legend of India-Australia cricket. Someone who has contributed to cementing the bond and making this rivalry what it is. Someone who has taken it to a very different kind of pedestal. And that's why I have great pleasure in welcoming today on the show a very dear friend, former Australian captain, one of the world's greatest batsmen, 115 test matches, 300 against India in that Sydney test in 2011-12, Michael Clarke. Michael, thank you very much and welcome to the show. Your first thoughts on India-Australia rivalry?
Yeah, thank you, Boria. Thank you for having me, mate. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. This is as special as it gets. You know, I think a lot of people always talk about the Ashes for Australia versus England as the most special series that Australian cricketer plays, but I'm not so sure that India's too far behind, to be honest. You know, I cherished playing against India as much as any other country. They were always competitive, always such a competitive team in any format. And I think now the fact that India, you know, regularly sit at the top of the tree in all three formats, there's not many bigger series that you get to play as an Australian cricketer.
Michael, you have sort of, led your team. You've beaten India in Australia. You've had a great career. Talk to me about what it was for you playing India. And when India travels down under and there is a huge build-up to a series, give me a sense of what it felt for you.
Yeah, well, I think because we were always so competitive, the Australian team and the Indian team, and we loved playing against each other, there was always a good build-up to the series. I think, you know, growing up as a young Australian cricketer, it was very hard to have success in Indian conditions. So going over there was always going to be one of the hardest places to play. And then we wanted to create the same thing. When India come to Australia, we wanted it to be just as hard for that Indian team to play in our conditions as it was when we went there. So for a long period of time, there was a bit of that. It was Australia would beat India in Australia, but India would beat Australia in India. And I was very lucky. My first series in 2004 in India was the first time Australia won there in 30 years. So it was very special to be a part of that. And then when we come back to Australia and played here, we really wanted to continue our domination and make sure that we kept having success here. But you know, I played against a wonderful Indian cricket team through my career. So many legends of the game. You think about Tendulkar, Sehwag, Laxman, Dravid. You know, those guys with the bat that I idolised watching and growing up as a kid. I wanted to play like them, and I didn't think I'd ever be lucky enough to play against them. Now you look at this current Indian team, there's still so many wonderful players, led very well by their captain, Virat Kohli. So much talent. I can't wait to see, you know, the Kohli versus Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc contest. And then on the other side of that, I can't wait to see Bumrah versus Warner, Smith, Labuschagne in the test matches, that contest as well.